Here's another sparring session at Blood and Iron, or part of it. There will be more footage. I'm assuming that you find the commentary more useful than just putting music on top of it, but let me know either way. So here I'm sparring with Steward. We're both using synthetic longswords from Purpleheart Armoury. Here's a feint to his right side that I turn into a cut to his left.
Okay. It looked like it was mostly sword bending.
I wasn't happy with that. When you notice in sparring that you connect with the flat rather than the edge, you should call it off. It's not a valid hit. It wouldn't cause any significant damage. Didn't have to do much to evade there. Sometimes it's a little hard to judge the distance. That connected on his forearm, and right after I raised up to guard. That's always important to do, because it's quite likely that after you throw a cut or a couple at the opponent will try to seize the initiative and counterattack. There's a thrust to my forearm. I'm trying to get into the habit of throwing more than one cut at once. It's better to unleash a whole flurry to push the opponent into the defensive. There was at least 2 cuts, but I'm still struggling with that a little bit, but it's getting better. So that was a hit to the hand. We don't count those, and that is to discourage deliberate strikes to the hand, simply because of safety concerns. Because even with fairly good gloves, the hands are the most likely to be injured. So that was insufficient contact. So we just don't score hand hits to discourage that kind of thing, to prevent injury. In historical combat, of course, it would be perfectly acceptable to, cut off half your opponent's hand. That would certainly be a decisive wound. But here we'd rather not. Slipped off my shoulder guard with my blade.
Shoulder.
Ask which one I want. It's a good shoulder.
Yeah, as Liana says, my injured shoulder is the right one, so the shoulder plate was still on there. So that's fine. That's really the reason why I have that particular jacket, to protect that shoulder. Feinted high and then cut low to the leg. That's often pretty effective. You just have to be aware of how exposed the head is.
There we go. All right.
Stuart landed a nice hit there. He feinted with a thrust and then wound into an undercut and got me in the torso. Well done. Just caught that on the strong of the blade. Just moving around a little bit, trying to get a feel for what the other is doing. Yeah, my feint didn't work there. It was also not quite committed enough. If you don't commit to the strike, then the feint is too obvious. Just going back and forth a little bit, trying to find an opening.
Very nice. Nice thrusts.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that one. I made him raise his guard and then I thrust into the neck. And it was a covered thrust, so he couldn't strike me at the same time. So up to guard and immediate counter. Plenty of rotation in that cut, so that would certainly be effective. Here I'm feigning with a thrust and then cutting to the side, but he catches that on the strong of his blade. Quick snipe to the arm. It's always a low risk maneuver. Now against Liana with synthetic saber. Here the guard really saved my hand. It's certainly good to have. So here I realized that I was outside of her reach and I didn't bother parrying, just counterattacked immediately. Can go very wrong if you misjudge the distance. Yep. Came around and struck my leg, which was very nicely done. This cut was probably intended to beat my saber aside and then follow up, so I just moved back and swung at the arm.
No, very tippy.
Making fun of my lean there. I was leaning forward way too much. The problem with that is if you put too much weight on your front leg, you get stuck in place. You are not as mobile. Here I intercepted her cut and the tip of my saber hit her head, but it just wasn't enough. It lost most of its force from the impact with her saber.
Oh!
Totally stuck. That was pretty funny.
The follow-up would have been perfect there.
I know, my wrist was like, nope, I'm not doing that.
Ah, fair.
That would be an embarrassing way to die, wouldn't it? Caught off guard because your saber got stuck against your own body. Oh man. Crap happens sometimes.
Yeah.
This time it didn't work out for me. She caught the forearm before I could complete the cut, so that would have most likely stopped my cut.
Yes.
And a nice cut to my leg.
Match point.
And that's it, so I hope you found it entertaining, and thanks for watching.